Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing on this Wednesday morning? It is Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah, I'm definitely not losing my mind today. Oh, 1 second. Oh, what's that? There we go. Fix it. Okay. Good morning, everyone. There we go. Took me a second from there just to get it all going. I was like thinking to myself, what day is it today? Yeah, it's Wednesday. It's obviously Wednesday. Welcome to Reganelite's Good Morning show and Prime Minister's Questions watch along here today on the Wednesday, the 25th of February 2026 at just gone 11 o'clock UK time. Here we are, dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite. One for reference. Yes, we do have a Twitch stream up as well. It's not all just YouTube as well. So if you're on Twitch, feel free to say hello. And feel free to hit that follow button and bell notification icon because you'll be notified when I go live on there as well. And if you're here on YouTube, which the vast majority of the lovely people are as well, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button as well. So for those who are new to this live stream and wonder what we do on this live stream here, so normally we go about an hour, but because we're doing Prime Minister's Questions, so we go about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on how long Prime Minister's Questions go. But for the first hour, what we do is we look at today's daily quote, which we'll come to in a moment. We'll have a look at the weather, see what the weather's forecasting today in the next couple of days, and then we'll have a look at see what the news is reporting on. We're going to be looking at world news specifically today. Not going to look too much at UK news, so we're going to be looking at such as the Associated Press, Al Jazeera, Kiev Independent, a couple of others there. Obviously, one of the big stories coming out is obviously the State of the Union. I have not watched any of the State of the Union, but I was told that it was the longest speech in the State of the Union's history. Thank God I did not watch the full thing. However, I will go out of my way to look at some clips and whatnot. And whatnot, yeah, just for the sake of other people there. I will do that at least there. So let's just, and then at 12 o'clock, what we do is we'll cross over to Prime Minister's Questions, and we'll see how Prime Minister Keir Starmer does in the latest rounds there. It's going to be interesting to say the least there. Yeah, 2 hours plus. Yeah, he rambled for 2 hours plus. Yeah, it was one. Yeah, I mean, I had a feeling he was going to do that. I had a feeling he was going to go for the record just because he can say on the record. But that's why I really want someone to break that record when he's no longer president, just to kind of stick the knife in, you know. I definitely want someone to break that record. Right, let's see who we got in the chat. No one in the Twitch chat at the moment, but for those on YouTube, we have Viper Scott, one of our moderators. Good morning to you. Rosemary there, good to see you there. Ellie, I can see there as well. Good to see you there. Indie Duck Mel, good to see you there. Good morning, Ducks. Good morning to you. Again, YouTube hates me. YouTube doesn't like me either. To be fair, Mel, they don't push the algorithm of my short videos. So you're not the only one that doesn't like that thinks that YouTube doesn't like me. Jim, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well there. And Mandy, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. And Jenny, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. I think that's everyone who said hello in the chat. I think everybody else is just listening in the background probably there. Harry, good morning to you. I just see you just pop up there as well. 2+ hours regularly it was. Yeah, that's 2 hours of your life you're not going to get back watching that full State of the Union. I think I did once watch a State of the Union one time. Yeah. Scott Hayes, good morning to you there as well. Hope you are doing well. Right, let's get started, guys, because we're on this show. So here is today's daily quote. Here, I will let you guys know a bit later on about schedule and whatnot, what's happening as well, because there may be some tweaks to next week's plans. I'll let you guys know that in a bit. Here, today's daily quote is from Dennis Waitley here, and it says, "There are two primary choices in life: to accept conditions as they exist, or accept the responsibility for changing them." So there are two primary choices in life: to accept conditions as they exist, or accept the responsibility for changing them. It's a really nice one. I like that. That's a nice one there. I like that one. I think that's a very, very good one there. Counter Kiev, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well there. Good to see you there. Tomorrow's one is from Jimmy Dean. Tomorrow's daily quote is from Jimmy Dean. So we'll definitely see what Jimmy Dean has for us tomorrow when it comes to the daily quote. And if you guys want your own, you can get yours at littlepennythoughts.com if you're interested in having one of your own daily quotes there. They probably updated it since the time I bought it, because it's definitely a couple of years old now. That is. So here is the weather, guys. A big, beautiful blue planet. I'm using the bbc.co.uk/weather map just for reference for those who aren't aware. Here, the time is set at 6 o'clock today, UK time, just for reference as well. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. We can see some variations of different temperatures in all different parts of the world here. Going to start in North America as we normally do here. Anchorage 21, Yellowknife 21, Churchill -24. Very cold in the northern parts of Canada, as you would expect. A bit south of the country there, you have Winnipeg at 18 there, Vancouver at 7. Ottawa there at 3, Chicago 1 degrees, New York 6, Nashville 15, Denver 20, San Francisco 15, San Diego at 20, New Orleans at 22, Miami 23, Mexico City at 19 degrees, Guantanamo City at 23, Kingston a very warm 29 degrees, San Jose at 24 as well. Down in South America here, we've got temperatures as high as 30 degrees there, with temperatures as low, well, 34 actually. It's actually a bit more warmer there in some parts. The temperatures as low as 13 in La Paz there, as well as its usual tropical weathers in a South American nation there. Coming across here into Central and Southern Africa here, we've got temperatures as high as 29 degrees. Lagos, Kinkishka there, Bangui there, 28. Cape Town as low as 21 there, and a very few showers there we can see on the map here is what they're reporting today. Crossing a bit further over into New Zealand there, Auckland's there, 17 degrees there. Southern islands of the country are experiencing some rainstorms there. Looking across here in Australia here, temperatures. Darwin as really warm at 27 there. Alice Springs at 22, Brisbane 21 there. Perth there, a lovely 23, with Melbourne at 15 there. Port Vila at 24 there. And Singapore there, a very warm 26 degrees as well. As a fair share of rainstorms, which is kind of normal around those parts there. To Taiwan there at 20 degrees. Bangkok 28. Shanghai at 9. Beijing 4. Tokyo at 6 degrees there as well. Moving a bit further over New Delhi, there we got at 17 degrees. Tehran 13, Baghdad at temperatures at 16. Kuwait City 20, Riyadh 19 degrees. Port Sudan, Khartoum 24 and 26 degrees, very warm, where there is civil war right now there. Good morning, Witchy Goth. Hope you are doing well. And we got Tripoli there at 17. Let's just have a quick look at our friends up in Iceland, what they're experiencing today. They got themselves a fair share of a snowstorm there with temperatures at 3 degrees. Do you know, for most of the period around October, November, December, January, I think even February, they don't have sunlight. It's always dark all the time for them. Always dark. Very unusual temperatures. I'm very unusual for them. I remember, you know, we went in July a couple of years ago. And you know, it's weird that you wake up at 3 a.m. You can look out the window, look out the hotel window, and it's like it's still daylight because it's daylight all the time during the summertime in Iceland. It's crazy. Just wanted to share that with you guys. What we got here? Madrid and Lisbon 17, 16 respectfully there. Algiers 17, Tunis 15, Parmelo 13, Rome at 14 there at Nice, and Nice, southern France there at 13 degrees. Looks like most of Europe is kind of dry from the looks of it there. Bern at 11, Paris a nice 15 degrees. Very good weather, good temperatures for them there for today. Berlin there at 5 degrees, not too cold. They've had some much colder days to be fair for them. Prague at 7, Vienna 9, Zagreb at 10, Chariad there at 11 there. Athens, nice at 13 degrees for them there. You can see on the eastern part of Turkey getting their fair share of massive snowstorms there. They've got Istanbul there at 7 degrees there. Bucharest at 3. Romania there, temperatures as low as 0 degrees. With Kiev at 1 degrees. Warsaw at 0 there as well. Moscow -5. Volgograd -2 there. With St. Petersburg a very cold -3 there. And Oslo there at 1 degrees. And we can see there's fair share of this massive snowstorm coming across both on parts of northern Norway as well as covering most of Sweden there. Quite a ferocious snowstorm that they're going through there. And Brussels there we have at 14 degrees here. If we just scroll it back to 12 o'clock, this is what we should be experiencing right now within the next hour or so. If you're living in the UK here, you can see those temperatures are very warm. I went for, before I just wanted to let you guys know actually. So normally I go for a walk after this live stream. I have lunch and then I go for my walk. I actually did the walk this morning. I only got home like about half an hour ago from my walk. And it was and I had a light jacket and a shirt. That's it. At no point, it was a bit chilly, but not too chilly. Just wearing them, because normally I would wear a puffer jacket around this time of the year, but I wasn't wearing it today, guys. And you can see by these temperatures there, and it's absolutely lovely out there, the weather as well. But we can see here some of these temperatures here as high as 15 degrees and some as low as 11 degrees. So at the moment, this is what we're going to be forecasting here. Now, some of you might be experiencing dry weather right now, but if you're living in most parts of Scotland and Northern England there, you're going to be experiencing some showers, if not now. I'm going to be experiencing it in the next hour or so here is what it looks like it could be forecast here. If I push it a little bit further along, you can see, especially if you're living in the northern parts of Scotland, there's quite a ferocious rainstorm up there as well as parts down here. We have scattered showers in parts of Wales there, as well as scattered showers in Ireland. They've not really had too much dryness over there, to be fair to them as well. But if we go a bit more, let's have a look at some of the actual what we got for temperatures wise. If it will show me, is it going to show me? Yes, it will. 1 second here. We'll just have a look at some of the temperature gauges is what we are looking at right now for today at 6 o'clock. Here we've got some temperatures on the eastern part of England here. Temperatures as high as 13, 12, 11, 10 degrees on the coast there. In the Midlands here, Northampton 12, Bedford 13, Milton Keynes around 13 degrees there. A bit lower there in London, Watford 13 degrees there. Down on the coast of England there, Hastings 10, Brighton 9, Portsmouth at 10 there as well. Glastonbury there at 12 degrees there. A bit more down in the southwest of England there. You can see those temperatures at about 10, 11 degrees there, with some scattered showers, but nothing too much. But most of it should be dry as well there. Looking a bit more into southern Wales here, Bristol there, you got there at 12 degrees, and Cardiff, the capital of Wales, there at 12 degrees. Looks like you're going to be experiencing some fair few showers there, but again, these temperatures are not too bad. We'll go basically from what we've been experiencing as well. We can see here, even on the western coast of Wales there, you got St Davis there at 10 degrees, Fishguard at 10 degrees, so not too bad for them there. And some parts of the hilly areas and mountainous areas in Wales, bit of rain and whatnot, but again, temperatures aren't too much changing. A bit more, and we're looking in the Midlands and the north of the country there, 11 and 12 degrees respectfully there. Moving a bit further up north here, we can see some of these temperatures staying roughly around about the same. There's not really too much change. Engaging temperatures around about, staying around between that 11, 12 and 13 degrees there. But there is a bit fair share of showers here and there as well. Got Leeds at 13 and Preston 13, Morecambe 11 there. But there will be some showers around the northern parts of England there. Going a bit further north as we go from the north of England into the south of Scotland here, we can see some of those temperatures. They do drop a little bit, but nothing too big here. So moving up even in from Carlisle there into Dumfries, for example, their temperatures, they drop to 9 degrees, but it's not as bad, to be fair. Not as bad in temperatures of what we've been experiencing. Edinburgh, Glasgow, there at 10 and 11 respectively. Dunbar at 10 there. Bridgend at 10. And then we can see these fair share of rainstorms that are going to be around later on there. You've got Dundee at 11 there. Old Man 10. Fort Williams at 11 degrees as well. Stonehaven and Aberdeen 9 and 9 respectively there. Moving a bit further up north there. Fraserburgh there at 9 degrees. And Inverness at 10 degrees there. You can see this massive rainstorm there. Ullapool at 9 there, and Stowaway, if I hope I said that right. If I haven't, I apologise, at 7 degrees there. So those are some of the temperature gauges. Bit more local, which I don't normally do too much of, to be fair there. Looking a bit overnight. This is what we're forecasting overnight. So there will be some of those scattered showers there, and temperatures as low as 9 degrees. Thank you, Viper Scott, for the £2 super chat as well. To get the goal started for DPR, Ollie and Crackers. Thank you so much for the £2 super chat. Thank you. Just 4 more super chats to go. Thank you so much for that there. Appreciate it. I'm sweating on my bike a couple of days ago, says Calicav. Yeah, I mean that's it, you know. That's exactly it. Yeah, it's actually quite warm out there. It's quite warm out there, to be fair. Moving a bit further on into Tuesday morning, tomorrow morning here, temperatures not too much change in the mornings though. Might be a little bit chilly, but it's not too bad. But you can see this massive rainstorm looks like it's going to be coming over there. But some scattered showers, most of it will be dry. There will be a few showers here and there. But you're moving into, unfortunately for those in Ireland, they're going to suffer it first, as they always do. You know, geography-wise, unfortunately, that is just the way it is there. But we can see here most of Ireland and Northern Ireland going to be getting their fair share of showers there. At lovely Thursday morning, just what they wanted. Yeah, of course. And unfortunately, they continue to experience, as well as our friends in Scotland. Look at this massive rainstorm going to be coming in there. Around about 3 o'clock there, it's also going to be hitting parts of Wales. Going a bit further on, it's actually going to dissipate in most of Scotland. It's going to be hitting most of Wales and Northern and Midlands England there as well from Thursday evening. But yeah, in the to late evening there, it looks like I'm going to be getting away with the weather again on Thursday from the looks of it there. Moving a bit further overnight here, again, not too much change in the temperature. A little bit drop, not too much change in some parts, but most of it staying roughly around about the same. This is what we're gauging overnight. There'll be some overnight showers on Friday as well. And then moving into Friday morning, you can see those 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, yeah, I know, temperatures there. London and Cardiff at 10 there as well. You can see most of it. There will be some showers here and there on the Friday morning. But if we move a bit further there, temperatures, they do rise back up a little bit there for Friday as well. We can see there is still some rain showers as well there. We're pushing it back a bit more to late in the evening. And you can see, like I said, I've been telling you guys about this, and this is where it's really important for Friday, guys. Bear in mind that while right now the temperature's pretty warm, not too bad, lovely sunshine, whatnot, temperature is going to drop again. But I do think this is the last time it's going to drop this until later on until this year. I think the temperature is going to. I don't think we're going to have another drop like this, if I'm honest, guys. So we can see if we're going to Friday night here, we can see those temperatures really do start to drop off a cliff here. So you can see, look, we've got as high as 7 degrees in some parts there, 9 degrees, right? But if we go a bit further on there, you can see those temperatures. They really do start to drop there. You can see 2, 3, 4, and 8 there. But if I go overnight for Saturday morning, these are some of the temperatures we're going to be experiencing on Saturday morning here. Some even in the minuses here. Looking up from Scotland, you can see some of these places 2 and 1 degrees. You can see here for early Saturday morning. Yes, so stark contrast to what we're feeling right now in some parts of the 4 nations here. And you can see there 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, even over in Northern Ireland. You can see there in Londonderry, Ballymella and Belfast there 0 and 1 degrees. There, Castletown 4 degrees. And you can see just stark contrasting temperatures of what we've had literally today. So it's a massive change in temperatures there. So Saturday morning is going to be very chilly, very, very chilly indeed, with perhaps some cloudy parts and whatnot there. So just be aware of that. But there will be a bit of a back end increase. It will increase a bit back up there as well. Let me just, I need to make sure I cover most of the UK there. But it will come back up a little bit there. And you can see there is that snow I mentioned before yesterday. You can see there. That's coming around as well in parts of Scotland as well as parts of Wales. Parts of Northern Ireland are going to experience a bit of snow as well from the looks of it there. Saturday night into Sunday there we can see those temperatures. Midnight Sunday 6, 7, 8. Yeah, see what I did there. 7, 10. Temperatures there as high as 10 degrees. And then we'll just have a quick look at Sunday before we go into some of the news. See what we're forecasting for Sunday morning. 9, 8, 7 again. So Saturday night into Sunday morning won't be as bad as Friday night into Saturday morning. It's essentially the message that I have for you guys in terms of that there. So just be aware of that. Yeah, so you can see those temperatures, they do drop. Unfortunately, where I am, I'll get away with it where I am because I live in London, but it's still going to be cold. You can see those temperatures are still going to be cold nonetheless, but just not as cold as it is going to be where most other parts of the UK are going to be experiencing it there. But yeah, Sunday, you can see those temperatures coming right back up to 11 degrees, even in Scotland there. You can see on Sunday afternoon there. But there'll be obviously some scattered showers here and there, and you can see this rainstorm It's going to be coming in on Sunday. It's going to be hitting parts of Scotland, parts of Ireland. There's another storm looks like potentially coming in as well, going into Monday. So that's kind of the gist of it. So yeah, do enjoy the weather. If you're avoiding the showers, if you're somewhere where the showers are avoidance, enjoy the weather because it's going to drop again. But I don't think we're going to have these cold temperatures going into March. I generally would be surprised if we do. But considering we are heading into March, the fact that we've still got one more kind of like down cold period, it's kind of interesting. Literally on the eve of February as we're going into March. Be interesting to see if we do. I will be surprised if we do have another dip in temperature in the future. But because in March it's not really supposed to drop that high. Looks like we might actually have one more dip actually in Tuesday next week from the looks of it. I just had a quick look at the gauge there, which will be kind of interesting to see. Dan spoke too soon about spring, says Counter Kiv. Yeah, looks like we're not completely out of it there. Reganelite, did you get Mikey's email? He sent one for tomorrow's roundtable. I did get that email. I haven't responded yet. And that is actually, thank you for reminding me because I need to put that on my jobs list actually. I just need to write this down actually. Yeah, I need to do that today for his sake because I will do because he's asked me about that before and I haven't done that, so I need to do that. I will. He is because he wants to host it, and I said that I will host it. But he obviously, I know that he wants it on his YouTube channel as well. So I need to kind of like I need to dual stream it from StreamYard. So I need to get that set up. So I need to do that today. That is one of my many jobs that I have to do today. Yes, so I will respond to his email today. Thank you for reminding me. I am just a duck, if that says Mel. I love the way you butcher some of the Scottish town names. Says Counter. I don't like butchering. I'm sure when I visit Scotland in a couple of months' time, in a few months' time, Dave McGinnis will give me a telling off for butchering some of the names, because I will be visiting a few places. I'm looking forward to coming back to Scotland in a few months' time. That'll be a nice trip, that's for sure. Right, let's have a look at some of the news, guys. We're going to start with the Associated Press here. So, what are the takeaways from Trump's address? Sales mode on economy, heavy on patriotism, dark turn on Democrats, apparently. Here. Sideways from Trump's address, sale modes on the economy, heavy on patriotism. Wow, so what he said. So, President Donald Trump started in sales mode using his State of the Union address to deliver an upbeat version of the US economy. It's not doing well. But that portraying collides with the sentiment of Americans who remain anxious about their finances and feel that they haven't benefited from Trump's policies. He took the high road to honor the gold medal winners, U.S. men's Olympic hockey team, and a war hero before pivoting abruptly to darker tone as he ridiculed Democrats. Funny how apparently the women's hockey team apparently beat the Canadians. I heard as well. Funny how they weren't given the same love and appreciation as the men's there. It almost comes across to me as, maybe a little bit sexist. Oh, that's right. Donald Trump is sexist to a certain extent. So they got some takeaways from the speech. Trump's roaring economy is at odds with a sour public sentiment. Much of the nation is worried about the direction of the economy. Trump says the good times are here, insisting repeatedly that rising costs are no longer a problem. Right, yeah, okay. It's okay when you've got billions and billions of dollars in your bank account. But, the roaring economy is roaring like ever before, he said. He cheered the low cost of gasoline, mortgage rates, prescription drug prices, and rising stock market. Millions of Americans are all gaining. Yeah, how many? Can anyone tell? I was expecting him to mention the Dow. The Dow is up, but the Dow is up, guys. We're doing well. The Dow is up. Yeah, the stock markets are rising. They're doing really good, guys. Yeah. Such optimism, so many Americans are feeling economic strain, risks painting Trump as out of touch. Just 39% of US adults approve of Trump's handling of the economy in February, according to an AP NORC polling. Still, the president focused much in the first hour of his speech on the economy. Some think Republicans have urged him to do as they head into the midterm elections. Yeah, well, there's a difference between telling people that the economy is doing well and people actually feeling it. And a lot of Americans are either nothing has changed or they're worse off. And I think that's the best way to do it. Viper Scott, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships to Person Impersonator, Magmonk33, Martin Harrow, Chris C, and Matt E. Parker have all been gifted memberships there. Thank you so much for that. It's very, very generous of you. Welcome to all our new members. Yes, welcome to all the new members. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. The women's hockey team were invited but declined. Good for them, says Calico. Oh, so they were invited and they said no. Well, fair play to them. Fair play to them there. I'm glad they said no and for all the right reasons there. One thing I did see, actually, which kind of infuriated me, was apparently the FBI director, Kash Patel, was celebrating in the locker room with the American hockey team when they won, which kind of was just like, you're the FBI director, and you're what are you doing? Have you not got more important things to be doing, you know? For a president always seems to be spoiling for a fight. Trump also tried to summon Americans' inherited patriotism impulses in addition to the hockey team. He singled out war heroes who had taken brave stances in other countries, using the moment to bestow numerous presidential medals in an effort to give the address a more positive gloss. Underscores the president's media savagery and understanding that even in a moment isn't appreciated completely in real time, it can have an afterlife in the days following the speech, especially on social media. Yet in one revealing moment, Trump laminated why he couldn't give a congressional medal to himself. The tributes to the hockey team, and the World War II veteran didn't unify the room for long. Yep, Democrats obviously are just gonna, Democrats will appreciate those. Will appreciate the hockey team and the World War II veterans, of course. Republicans soon took aim at Democrats and blamed them for many of the nation's ills. Yeah, because the Democrats are it's the Democrats' fault for, what's happening under this Trump administration, what's happening when it comes to checks and balances, the Senate and the Congress, because they obviously control all of that, guys. Make no mistake, Democrats have to take blame for things, but, you've been in power for more than a year now. Trump says rising healthcare premiums are caused by you, suggested Democrats, and not protecting Social Security and blaming them for the nation's affordability crunch. You caused that problem, Trump said as he glared at the Democratic side of the room. Like, dude, you're the one in power. You can do something about it. You have all the power. You can do something about it. He seemed to get angry as the speech progressed. These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy. He said Democrats are destroying this country. Again, you have all the power to make people's lives better. You have all the power, Donnie. Trump's MAGA base left such an aggression. It's unclear, however, if the rest of the country feels the same. By Trump's standard, he held his tongue when it came to the Supreme Court. Yeah, he was probably told not to lash out too much at the Supreme Court. They were literally sitting there. After the court struck down his tariff policy last week, Trump said the justices who voted against one of his signatory issues, were an embarrassment to their families. By Tuesday, he simply called the ruling unfortunate. I wish I'd seen the faces of the judges sitting there listening to that. Trump sought to treat the ruling with indifference, insisting that tariff revenues were saving the US, ignoring the fact that the levies haven't made a significant dent in the government's debt. He said the tariffs were paid by foreign countries, even as virtually every study concludes that costs have been paid by US firms and consumers. Yeah, don't tell Donnie that. At one point, he seemed to take the view that history would ultimately vindicate him, even if the Supreme Court would not. Okay, sure. Val's action on election cheating. Cheating is rampaging in our elections. Trump says, okay, where's your evidence? Oh, he's going to make up some, guys. That's what he's going to do. No mention of Minneapolis. What a surprise. Yeah, no, like, sadness for the innocent people who lost their lives, guys. Two innocent Americans lost their lives, and no mention of that at all. He didn't mention the 2 deaths. Yeah. Boston criminal aliens. Dumbfoundment for war gets loud. Trump has already built up speech. President said that Iran has proxies that spread nothing but terrorism, death, and hate, adding that its leaders killed at least 32,000 protesters in recent weeks. You know, there's a certain country in the Middle East that's killed, like, allegedly over 60,000, you know, Palestinians in Gaza, as well as killed hundreds of people in the West Bank as well. It would be nice if you mentioned that as well, Donny. On the brand speech was the longest ever. The president, ever mindful of records allowed in the state, he was the first, the best, ever done the most, succeeded. Clocking in just over 1 hour and 48 minutes is the speech, apparently. It was 1 hour and 48 minutes, according to the Associated Press there. So, yeah, if you want to endure 1 hour and 48 minutes, go right ahead. I might listen to a few highlight clips, but that's about it, personally. Yeah, that's quite a lot there. I tried ice hockey para. It's hard playing tipped over. I can't skate. I've tried ice skating, and I just fall flat on my ass every time. Just fall flat on my ass every time. I can't ice skate. I've tried in the past when I was younger. Couldn't do it. Trump honors National Guard members shot in Washington. Fact focus. Trump cites health care issues in Greenland and said he's sending a hospital ship. Send it here. Send it to the UK. We'll take the hospital ships. We've got an NHS crisis. Send it here. We could use that. Because it's not like the health secretary. The health secretary's not. You know, he's more concerned about pushing more private healthcare on us. Northeast US scrambles to clear piles of snow as new storm descends on the region. New York City police investigate after officers were hit with snowballs during a snowball fight. I mean, like I saw the tweet from Zoran Mandami with regards to this story. Oh no, actually, I saw. I think he said in basically what he said was like, don't hit police officers with snowballs. You can hit me, just don't hit police officers with them. Basically, there. Were they ice ones? Shows two uniforms paving a walkway in the park. Many snowballs flying from all directions, hitting the officers, covering them in snow. The officers, growing visibly frustrated, shoved at least two people to the ground as snowballs continued. Was at one point a person runs up behind an officer and mushes snow comes onto his head. One of the officers seen rubbing his eyes towards the end of the video. Yeah, there's like nothing wrong with having snowball fights, guys, but yeah, just don't do it to police officers. Like, yeah, come on, bit silly. I know how people feel about them, you know. So, Iran pushes back against Trump ahead of Geneva talks in the face of major US military deployment. So there's supposed to be the talks tomorrow. Cross fingers. Or am I mixing up the Ukrainian talks there? Largest forces of US warships and aircraft at decades heads to the Middle East. There's so much build up in the Middle East. It's insane, guys. They've got so much firepower, the US, in the Middle East. It's in more built up so much. It's crazy. They are going to go to war. It's just a case of when. Like, there's no way you would put that much out there and not do something with it. It's very, very frightening indeed. People aren't talking enough about it. CIA offers tips to potential informants in Iran as Trump considers military action. Hungary's Orbán stakes his re-election on anti-Ukraine message. Yeah, okay. Discord pushes back on global age verification rollout amid criticism, promised transparency here. Let's have a look at this. Discord, the popular platform for gamers and communities online, is postponing its controversial age verification policy after receiving swift backlash from users with concerns about their privacy. The global rollout system is now delayed to the second half of 2026. Discord's chief technology executive wrote in a blog. Many of you are worried that this is just another big tech company finding new ways to collect your personal data. That's why we're creating a problem to justify invasive solutions. I get that skepticism. It's earned, and that's not towards us, but towards the entire tech industry. But that's not what we're doing. Yeah, Discord, which has more than 2 million active users, will continue to meet specific legal obligations for its age verification users, the company said. But the global expansion of age verification will only come after it makes changes to the initial policy it laid out in early February. The company announced earlier this month that it would roll out an age verification policy in March that would include face scanning or requesting an ID for use for users. It would not determine what adults. It's drew swift ire from many users, many pointing to a recent security breach. Reference security breach. Yeah, we had that security breach. I remember getting an email from Discord about that. Was not happy. I don't know how many of you got the email who are Discord users in the chat, but that was not very good. The company distanced itself from Persona. Yeah. The company distanced itself from Persona after its relationship also became subject of online criticism. Persona is backed by the venture capital firm Founders Fund, which is run by Platinum Technology co-founder Peter Thiel. So when I think someone asked me in that when I put out a video about we should be concerned about Discord, and they said I think someone said there was no link to Platinum whatsoever. Well, I think I've just found it for you. Thiel and Platinum are often criticised for the company's partnership with the government and surveillance purposes, with Platinum recently inkling an agreement with US Immigration Customs for a streamlined process of identifying and deporting people in agency target. Now, you could argue that it may be only be specifically US servers, but we do have. But who's to say that they won't look at other servers internationally as well? Any other stuff here? So when are they going to roll it out then? I suppose they're going to be pushing it back for a while then. Okay. Regan, you sit down on para ice hockey, you still fall. Yeah, that's true. What else we got here? Are expensive shampoos worth it? Here's what experts have to say. Here's a short answer. No, they're not worth it. If you go bold, you go bold. That's it. That's my simple answer. Residents want local government to end contracts that let ICE train on their gun ranges. Oh my God, yeah, that's pretty uncomfortable. Indonesia frees and deports Americans who spent 11 years in prison for Bali suitcase murder. Warner Brothers gets a higher offer from Paramount in the heated fight for the stalled Hollywood studio. Yeah, that's still going on. US men's hockey team. Trump says the women's team will be honored soon, apparently. Yeah. Al Green ejected from Trump's State of the Union after holding a protest time. Yep, well said with that sign because he thinks because of the video he put out, and he's not sorry for it as well. Baby monkey punches carriage's stuffed toy as companion in a Japanese zoo. Yeah, this is the is this the viral clip that everyone's been talking about? Yeah, this is the clip. This is the clip that people have been talking about. So what is here? Baby monkey punches the baby monkey called Punch carries a stuffed toy as a companion in Japan's zoo. We got to put up with adverts for. So the baby monkey Japan's gone viral around the world. Videos of him carrying the stuffed orangutan.
Gone viral after videos of him carrying a stuffed orangutan toy were shared on social media.
Oh.
The Japanese macaque, nicknamed Punch, has been the center of attention since the Ichigawa Zoo posted a picture of him earlier in February. According to the post, Punch was born last year and was hand-reared after he was neglected by his mother. Punch joined the monkey enclosure at the zoo earlier this year with his companion stuffed toy, provided by the zookeepers for comfort. With many visitors sharing videos of Punch being pushed away by other monkeys, the zoo has been constantly updating the developments of the baby monkey on social media.
That's really sad. Why are so many families rejecting Punch? That's terrible. Terrible monkeys. That's terrible. That's terrible to hear. I hate seeing that. That's terrible. Well, the zoo's taking good care of Punch, and I hope they continue to do so there. But shame on that mother and the rest of them not giving some comfort to that monkey. Absolutely shame on them. Absolutely shameful. Yes, it was a very cute video, I will say that. Let's have a look at Al Jazeera, see what they're saying here. India's PM Modi to visit Israel as genocidal war continues in Gaza. India balancing support for Palestine and amid Israeli partnership. How are you balancing it exactly? Brunel told Al Jazeera that India had a very historical position to support Palestine. This has been the case since 1974, when India, soon after independence, was involved in the discussion of the Palestine Mandate and supported the creation of the Palestinian state. But India and Israel have had diplomatic relations since the 1990s. So India, since then, has been balancing its tradition, long-standing support, he said. It's been very difficult at a public level and multilateral forums for the BJP with Modi, because he's been pushing for a closer maybe defense and to some degree maybe ideological alignment or personal relationship with Israel, and said that Adib Moldi had a very vocal friendship with Netanyahu. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. I don't like that he's visiting Israel. He should not. He should not be in Israel. He should not be in Israel. He should not be in Israel. He should not be there. Not by the connections that they have with Palestine and its people. He should not be there personally. Like I get like the whole like relationships and build trade and all that kind of stuff, but he should not be doing this, in my opinion. Anti-Palestinian repression legal experts document hundreds of UK cases. Group says its new public database reveals the extent of broad crackdown on solidarity movement. Legal experts have documented almost 1,000 incidents in which pro-Palestine voices have been allegedly targeted in the United Kingdom. They said represents a systematic effort to repress the country's solidarity movement. The European Legal Support Centre, the EOSC, said on Wednesday that it had verified 964 cases of anti-Palestine repression from January 2019 to August 2025, including students being investigated over their solidarity, activists being arrested, employees facing disciplinary proceedings, and artists having their events cancelled. Yeah, it's disgusting. All because they're standing up for human rights. The findings of the studies, carried out in collaboration with researchers at Forensic Architecture, are a simple indication of a wider and deepening pattern, said the groups comprising lawyers and legal officers. The EOSC pitched the report as an index of repression, a database that is open to the public. Quote, we're launching this database to show the repression of the Palestinian society movement in British is pervasive. Our one document case involves a University of Warwickshire student who was reported to the police by the university for carrying a sign that drew parallels between Israel and Nazi Germany during the campus rally in November 2023. It's a crackdown on solidarity with Palestine. 964. Who is accused of leading crackdown? Police and security personnel. Who is allegedly targeted? Students, academia and teachers, education institutions, activists and organisations, pro-Israeli advocacy lawfare groups, public and private sector workers, journalists, media actors, artists and cultural workers. Interesting. Some interesting numbers. Thank you again for the... Thank you, Viper Scott, for the £2 super chat there. How's DPR? Oh, how to them. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate it. It was said in the post on the site that there was another female taken under her wing. Oh, I guess they just didn't add it to the video, which they should have done. There. Well, that's good to read. Thank you for letting me know that, Linda. Appreciate that. What else we got here? A Group's petition Israeli Supreme Court as Gaza West Bank work bank nears. A Group's petition Israeli Supreme Court as Gaza West Bank work and ban nears. Israel has ordered 37 A Groups to halt life-saving operations in war-torn Gaza, as well as the occupied West Bank and East Jerusalem. 17 international A Groups have said they have petitioned Israeli Supreme Court to allow them to keep working in the Gaza Strip and other areas in the occupied Palestinian territory, where the Israeli government is set to halt their life-saving work next month. The Israeli government said it will ban 37 A Groups from war-torn Gaza, the occupied West Bank and the occupied East Jerusalem on March the 3rd, and mood described as having a potentially devastating consequence for Palestinians. Yeah, because they want to kill them. We already know that. Joint statement on Tuesday, A Group said they have appealed to the Supreme Court seeking an urgent suspension of the plan to ban them from working and are seeking an urgent interim injunction from the court pending a full judicial review of the Israeli order. Oxfam International said on Tuesday that the forced closure of aid operations Gaza and the rest of the occupied Palestinian territory could begin as early as Saturday. The effect would be immediate, extending well beyond individual organisations to the wider humanitarian system. In Gaza, families remain dependent on them, external assistance, amid restrictions on aid entries for new strikes in densely populated areas, it said in a statement. In the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, military incursions, demolitions, displacement, settlement expansion, and settler violence are driving rising humanitarian needs, it added. Compliance with the Israeli orders will expose their Palestinian staff to potential retaliation, undermine the principle of humanitarian neutrality, and violate European data protection law. Yeah. According to the United Nations, 133 NGO workers have been killed in Israeli attacks in the Gaza Strip since Israel's war. In a joint statement, the aid agency says stopping their activities will lead to humanitarian collapse and irreplaceable harm. Yeah, they don't. Again, Israel does not care. They don't care. They don't care. That's really really sad. How long have we got for that? So yeah, by this Sunday. I don't think the Supreme Court's going to block it. I'd like to think so, but I don't think they will, guys. Syria faces twin battles as Assad loyalists. Nice IO attacks in west and east. UNSC condemns RSF attack in Sudan's Kordofan, calling for an end to the war. Which countries are urging citizens to leave Iran and US threats of force? I think, yes, some Iranian citizens, if they can leave the country, I would recommend them doing so there. It's not going to be a good idea if they stay with what's coming, because I really do think it's coming. Yeah, I know it's a stupid advert. I have no idea why Al Jazeera does that. There are some of the websites where I don't allow them to try. Like, one thing there, you just got me thinking now, Kev, because you said that. Like, every time, because I use a lot of social media for my work, right? They always ask me to track my work, and I always keep saying no. Like, ask the app to follow your tracking and whatnot, and I say no every single time. And yeah, I don't like them. I don't want them to follow my work. They don't need to. There's no need to. It's a desperate attempt for them to try and get more money off me. I don't know what loo roll's got to it. I don't even buy the loo roll here. We get someone, literally right just on the other side here. Like, there's like 6 stacks of 18-pack loo rolls, because we can only fit so much in the bathroom. And the reason we get it is because my mum's partner's friend, who gets it really, really cheap, and so he gives a bunch of packs to us. So we never run out of loo roll. So he's literally 6 stacks. There's literally a stack there. It's ridiculous. Right, Kiev Independent, going off topic here. Chart of the week: Ukraine's reconstruction needs rise to 12% to 588 billion here. Interesting. Total damage by sector: social sectors, infrastructure sectors, productive sectors, cross-cutting sectors. This is Ukraine, for reference, people don't know, of the damage that needs to be had here. Interesting. Social sector, of course, yeah. Infrastructure is damaged, of course, yeah. Do they have any other graphs here? Damage and recovery needs in Ukraine in terms of billions. You've got blue in damage, black in loss, green in needs here. This is the source from the World Bank, RDNA5 here. So since the war started in February 2022 here, we can see year on year the cost has gone up and up and up, of course, because the war has continued to prolong there. Yeah, it looks like it really jumped between 2022. Yeah, it really jumped here quite a fair bit there. Yeah, the loss there is very high. They got any other graphs there? There's some interesting statistics there. But yeah, the amount of money that they need is 588 billion pounds. You know, there are billionaires that could. There's plenty of millionaires and billionaires that could pay for it if they wanted to. As Russia rained missiles on Ukrainian cities last fall, US issued warning to Kiev over Black Sea drone strike, ambassador says. US, Ukraine to hold talks in Geneva tomorrow, Trump envoy says. Wickoff said he would meet with Ukraine's security chief, although the primary purpose of his visit would be negotiations with Iran. So there will be talks with Ukraine, but the main focus is Iran there. Person, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. What else we got here? At least 5 killed and 18 injured in Russian attacks against Ukraine over the past day. The Air Force said that Russian attacks attacked Ukraine with 115 drones overnight. There's always more than 100 drone attacks overnight with Russia on targets in Ukraine. You can't turn off your emotion inside Ukrainian morgue as war death mounts. General Staff says that over 1.2 million Russian troops have lost their lives since the start of the war. 4 years. 4 years, guys. Russia rained missiles on Ukrainian city last fall. US issues warning to Kiev. Black strike. Yeah, we saw that headline already. Russia transit cuts oil intake after Ukraine strike at the pipeline. US abstains from UN vote on lasting peace in Ukraine on the 4th anniversary of the war. Canada announces $1.4 billion military aid package for Ukraine. Expands sanctions against Russia. Canada announced a C2 Canada military aid package in Ukraine on the day. Expanding sanctions against Russia, including measures targeting Moscow's shadow fleet and a lower oil price cap. That's very good. That's a nice announcement to make on the day from Canada's perspective. Most of Ukraine remains exposed to Russia's ballistic missiles, Zelensky said. He said that about 80% of Ukraine lacks protection against Russia's ballistic missiles, renewing calls for additional air defenses, including Patriots. Yep, needs more of them to protect people. Definitely needs more of them to protect people. That is true there. That is true. Let's have a look at the New York Times. All the Republicans standing up because they've got because they're all good little duckies that oh no, ducks is not the right word. Good little no, because ducks is an insult to ducks. We need to use a different animal to describe Republicans. I'm sure someone can find out a more appropriate animal. Stand up with one that maneuvered. Trump tries to box in Democrats. Virginia governor in a Democratic response asks, is the president working for you? The answer is no. Trump calls for more limits on trans youth. Why? Why Democratic Congresswoman wore white to Trump's State of the Union again? Democrats boycotting speech rallied outside the Capitol. Mexico is caught between Trump and the cartels. President Trump has demanded the Mexican president confront cartels. The killing of El Mexico, suggesting it might be working, but it could come at a cost. Yeah, it's easy to say that when your country's not on fire. Mexico's is as a result of what happened there. Lemmings, yeah, I suppose lemmings. Snakes, sloths. Sloths are all right. Sloths are all right. I guess snakes is a good one to describe them. Sloths are all right, to be fair there. Yeah. What to know about cartels operating in Mexico? I can't open any of these pieces, by the way, because it's the New York Times. 40 Iranian doctors and nurses describe a massacre there. Fallout from the Epstein files. Leader of Colombian Brain Institute quits over friendship with Epstein. The Nobel launderette Richard Axel is not accused of wrongdoing, but called his association with Jeffrey Epstein a serious error in judgment. Yeah, you say that now. Say that now. How Jeffrey Epstein indoctrinated himself with top Microsoft executives. Oh dear, what a surprise. The Donald Trump 1% of fan club has a lot of new members, apparently. Okay, I don't know why they would have new members. Medical Association's trusted belief over science over youth gender care. Opinion piece says Ukraine has passed the point of no return. Again, Trump completely misreads the law. No, he's just ignoring the laws. He's not misreading it. He's ignoring it. Abu Dhabi State Oil Company looks beyond oil. Well, they've been relying on oil for a long time. You should really invest in other things if you want a future, good, sustainable future. I mean, Qatar is a country of prime example of expanding outside of just the resources that they have, you know. There. Want to age well at home. Don't really want to think about that right now, thank you. Trump squeezes Cuba. Many US presidents have tried to bring down the communist government. This time feels different. Unless they're going to war with them, I don't know if they're going to squeeze them, but it's not a good time right now for Cuba. Excuse me. It really isn't a good time for them. A hero the Taliban didn't expect. A triumph in indoor soccer has turned Aliwizka's Amarati 17 and other players from the Hazara minority long marginalised Afghanistan into national heroes. Okay. Interesting. Fresh off the Supreme Court loss, Trump could face a new challenge on tariffs. FBI Director Kash Patel Olympics schedule left plenty of time for leisure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was in the locker room, didn't I, earlier? We still got 3 more super chats to reach today's goal, but we do have Prime Minister's questions to come in 5 minutes' time, guys. Justice Department sues University of California over anti-Semitism. Xi purges of China's military-run. Deep new study shows around 100 senior officers have been sidelined or vanished since 2022, hollowing out the top ranks and waiting questions about the army's capabilities. Sounds like he's kicked out a lot of people. The thing is, though, the difference, the difference between China's military and Russia's military. While China are greatly advancing as a massive superpower, the one thing US has over China when it comes to military power, they have experience. They have a lot of experienced generals. They have a lot of experienced soldiers, and many of them have been into combat. Whereas for China, they don't have that. They don't have a lot of that. They don't have the experience. That's a key difference between the two. That is definitely the key difference there. Ukraine battlefield dead could reach 500,000 in the 5th year, estimates suggest. The US men's hockey team won the gold, then lost the room. The team's historic triumph must compete for attention with its reckless after party. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were angry with them for having Kash Patel in their room after winning. Pretty sure they were not happy with that, a lot of people. And rightfully so. Pentagon gives AI company an ultimatum. And America insists on limits on how its technology is used and could be labelled a supply chain risk if it fails to accept the military's demands. Yeah, because Pete Hegseth, don't they want to inject artificial intelligence software into the Pentagon? Because what could possibly go on with AI controlling, some of the nation's top secrets in the United States, guys? What could possibly go wrong there? Any other stories there? Not really. Let me just get the feed up for PMQs. It should be already up. Let me just have a look here. No, they're humans, says Mel. They're humans? Are they humans, though? Are they humans, those Republicans? Are they really? I guess we don't. They are something, that is for sure. They are something, that is for sure. Right, the feed is up. Let's have a quick look, because you've got a couple of minutes left. I just want to have a quick look at... Who should we have a look at? Let's have a quick look at Africa news before we go to Prime Minister's questions. Israeli President Hegseth arrives in Addis Ababa at the start of the 2-day official visit. Trump paints rosy picture of US in record State of the Union speech. Crisis levels of hunger in Somalia more than double, says UN-backed experts. It's important to remember that the US cutted a significant... It's really, really important to remember this, guys. The United States of America cut a significant chunk of its foreign aid this year. From this year, right? That means that they have killed... that so many more people will die as a direct consequence of that. Innocent people are going to die. Whether it's in Africa, whether it's in parts of the Middle East or Asia, people who rely on that foreign aid, they're going to die. They're going to die. It's as simple as that. They're just going to die as a direct result of consequences of cutting that foreign aid. People don't talk about that because they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to point out the positives of foreign aid and how it actually saves people's lives. The mainstream media doesn't want to tell you that. But I'm telling you that people are going to die as a direct result of cutting foreign aid from the US, the UK, and other nations in the West who decide to cut it. People are going to die far more this year as a direct result of that. The number of people dying this year will be far, far higher than it will be in last year. When all the numbers comes out, it'll be much, much higher. And it will be simply because of the cutting of foreign aid. One of the big factors behind it will be the cutting of foreign aid. Let me just pull it forward here. Should be starting any moment here, right, guys? Kevin Baganott's taking a seat. I'm assuming the Prime Minister is going to be taking his seat in a moment. Let's transform, guys. We're going into Prime Minister's questions now. Whoop. Whey. How did I do that? It's the power of magic, guys. The power of magic. Here. So, saw an ad for Thursday's juice. I'm very, very tempted, says Mel. Tullamore drew coffee, caramel, Irish coffee in a bottle, says Mel there as well. Nor did the Vietnamese, but look what happened there, says Ellie. Not the Republicans, the snakes. Yeah, but disrespecting snakes as well there. Careful you don't get the duck army after you, says Mel. Yeah, I don't want to get the duck army after me. That would be very, very bad. Slime, yeah, they're slime balls. I suppose you could call them slime balls as well. How do we think Keir Starmer's going to do today? Well, I think he'll be. After after 2 weeks ago, you know, it was really, really bad. I think he might handle this a little bit better. But I guess we will see, guys. We'll see. So this is PMQs, which will be starting any moment now, guys. And here we go.
We come to Prime Minister's questions. Can I welcome into the gallery the Speaker of the Parliament of Fiji and the President of the European Parliament. We start with questions to Prime Minister Edega.
Number one, sir.
Prime Minister.
Thank you,
Just one
Mr.
second,
Speaker.
guys. Back in a moment.
4 years into in their time of need,
sorry about that.
providing the weapons and aid to support them in their fight for a just peace. We're degrading Russia's economy and planning for a ceasefire that protects Ukraine's sovereignty. That support will never falter. And yesterday, Mr. Speaker, I recommitted to President Zelensky and the Ukrainian people that we stand with them in the fight for freedom, democracy and the values that we all hold dear. Mr. Speaker, let me also congratulate Team GB for their superb performance in the Winter Olympics. They are brilliant ambassadors for our country, and I know the Paralympics GB will also do us proud. Mr. Speaker, this morning I had meetings with ministerial colleagues and others. In addition to my duties in this House, I shall have further such meetings later today.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and may I associate myself with the remarks of the Prime Minister in respect of Team GB and Ukraine. A great former Prime Minister once said, "You turn if you want to, the lady's not for turning." Like the leader of my party today, she was a leader of principle and backbone. But we know this current government is no stranger to the U-turn. So given that, can I gently tempt the Prime Minister to add one more to the current tally to help get Britain working again by backing the fantastic shops and businesses in Melton Mowbray Town Centre and high streets across my constituency and beyond to succeed and grow by scrapping the government's business rate changes that will hit so many of them hard in April?
Well, it's good to see him in good form, particularly, if I may say so, after his health scare, which he and I have discussed a number of times. He discusses a former leader of his party. He was the former health minister, I think, who presided over record waiting lists. He was the former prison minister who left the prisons overcrowding. And he was the former economy minister under Liz Truss. We're picking up the mess and we're turning it around.
That's all they've got. Attack Tories.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I very much welcome the fact that our Labour government has recognised the state of Palestine, and I also welcome the Foreign Secretary's statement last week as Chair of the UN Security Council, setting out the UK's commitment to increasing humanitarian access to Gaza and advancing a two-state solution. Does the Prime Minister agree that protecting civilians, upholding international law and supporting Palestinian-led governments are essential for a lasting peace?
Prime Minister.
Well, can I thank her for raising this really important issue, because the ceasefire in Gaza remains fragile and protecting Israeli and Palestinian civilians is critical to the next phase of the peace plan.
Yeah, just don't mention the fact that there are airstrikes still carrying on daily. Oh yeah, and there's still Palestinians getting shot every day in Gaza and the West Bank, but we don't talk about that, of course. We can't say anything to jeopardize the relationship with our beloved Israeli masters, guys.
Mr. Speaker, I'm proud of our commitment to a two-state solution, and we will be hosting the peace-building conference in March to build lasting peace and security for both Palestine and Israel.
Yeah, it's an absolute fucking joke.
Hamas must...
It is. I'm sorry. If they were serious, they would be critical of Israel, and they're not serious. They're not serious about peace. They're not serious about it at all.
Must decommission its weapons, destroy its terrorist infrastructure, and can have no future role in running Gaza. And Mr. Speaker, whilst aid flows have increased, the level of need is still dire.
I wonder if he's going to mention the charities that we just looked at, guys. What do you think, guys? What do you think about the international charities that are going to be kicked to the curb by this Sunday? Do you think he's going to say anything about that today?
And the Israeli government must stop blocking supplies and preventing work of international NGOs. Oh. That is unconscionable, and it is costing Palestinian lives.
But he doesn't criticize the Israeli government. He says that they shouldn't do it, but he doesn't actually attack them.
To the leader of the opposition, Kemi Ben.
Okay, Kemi, you going to do anything useful today?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And can I associate this side of the House with the Prime Minister's comments about Ukraine and Team GB? Mr. Speaker, before the Prime Minister and I became MPs, parties of every colour increased the cost of going to university. The system is now at breaking point for graduates. I believe the student loans have become a debt trap. It is time for all of us to do something about it. Will he cut interest rates on student loans?
I'm just going to say this out loud, because if this is going to be the conversations that we're going to be having, I need to say this now before we get into it, guys, okay? The state should be paying for everything when it comes to our children's education. These loans are an abomination to our children and to our future children. I don't give a fuck what the debt would be. If I was in power and I had the control, I would take it out. Even if it meant us having more debt, it would be worth it. It would be worth it, because I want to give every single man, woman and child the best opportunities they possibly can. A government is supposed to provide for its people at every single opportunity. This whole system is a complete and total fucking joke. It shouldn't happen. It should never have been in place. Teenagers, youngsters, they should not have to pay anything for an education. They should not have to pay a single penny. It should all be free, because it's the state saying we're investing in you because we believe in you. That's the message you should be saying. That's the message I would want to say if I was in power. I believe in our children. I believe in our students. I believe in our people. Yeah, and that's why the state is going to prop up all this. We're going to prop it up for all the kids who want to go to university, for all the kids who want to go to college, who have ambitions, who have dreams to be successful. We're going to cover that cost. And that's how it should be. Not this whole loan payback bollocks that people have to go through. It's detrimental. It's soul destroying. It's life destroying. How can they possibly have a career with these massive debts on their hands? My brother has a debt because he went to university. And the moment I thought about going to university, I thought about that. But, you know, the moment I heard about the debts, I said to myself, fuck that. You know, fuck that. I'd rather just grind it out in the retail. You know, because I don't want to be saddled with debt. I don't want that debt. Why would anyone as a youngster want to go to college and university when they have a massive debt put on them? Regardless of whether there are interest rates or not. I should not have a debt on me. The government should be helping people.
Prime Minister.
I'm going to be blunt. I don't know enough about this. But what I do know is that I hate this system completely. I hate it all. It should not exist. The government should be supplying all of this out of its own pocket. That's what we should be doing. Not having this discussion about, we need to change the system and all this kind of thing. No, someone should just basically stand up and say, this system is a joke. The state should pay it off. Pay off all the debts for all these students. I don't care what the cost is. Pay it all off. Give all the students debt-free. All the students who are in class, college and whatnot, get it all paid off. Get it all paid off. Because the message you will say by doing that is you're backing our youngsters. I can guarantee you, I can absolutely guarantee you this, right? If Labour put out a policy like that, so many youngsters who are voting for Greens would turn back to Labour based on that kind of policy. And the Viper Scott brings up Scotland has the free university funding here, so the students get it free. And that's exactly what we should be having here. That's exactly what we should be having here.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I have to say I was glad to learn that the Leader of the Opposition has finally admitted that they scammed the country on this. And that applies to everything they did in government. We inherited their broken student loans system. We've already introduced maintenance grants to improve the situation, which they scrapped. And we will look at ways to make it fairer. And we will do other things within the economy to help students. What other things they say? The news this morning, Mr. Speaker, 7 a.m, energy bills coming down by £117 for millions of families and young people struggling. That's guaranteed money off bills in April, driven by the action that this Labour government has taken. We promised to cut the cost of living. We are cutting the cost of living.
Regardless of how you feel about the Labour government, this is a positive thing, and I credit the Labour government for reducing energy bills. This is a very good announcement, and people should give credit where credit is due to the Labour government on this, because that is a positive thing. Where there's good positive policies, we should give credit where credit is due, even if we don't like the political parties.
Mr. Speaker, I asked him if he would cut interest rates on student loans. No answer. And for the record, energy bills are still higher than when he came into office. He keeps talking about the last government. In case he hasn't noticed, my party is under new leadership. A lot of people wish his was too.
That doesn't wash, because you were part of the old establishment, and most of your shadow cabinet, or pretty much all your shadow cabinet, was part of the old establishment. So that's not going to wash with me. And I'm sure it's not going to wash with people watching this as well.
Including the backbenchers sitting behind him. But let's talk again about student loans and student fees even. Because to win the Labour leadership, yes, with Labour together, the Prime Minister promised to abolish tuition fees. In opposition, the Education Secretary said, graduates, you will pay less under a Labour government. I wonder what happened to those people. But can the Prime Minister tell us whether graduates are paying more or less under Labour?
Well, Prime Minister.
Certainly many in her party are under new leadership, Mr. Speaker. They're up there. The only change she's brought to her party is to make it smaller.
Oh, that's funny.
And she talks about interest rates on loans. Mr. Speaker, not only have energy prices come down this morning, but since we were last here across the dispatch box, inflation has fallen as well, which has a huge impact on interest rates. Fallen to 3%. And the Bank of England say it's going to keep on falling. That's only happening because of the decisions that we made at the budget, opposed by the party opposite. They talk about the cost of living. This government is taking action, and under their watch, inflation was 11%, which crippled the state of finances for students as their loan rates went up.
Mr. Speaker, I'm amazed that while we're trying to talk about student loans, the Prime Minister has the cheek to talk about my party being smaller. His party is smaller too, including one MP who was arrested for child sex offences. So perhaps before he gets on his high horse, he should ask why his backbenchers are saying that they're being called the Pedo Defenders Party. Yes. So why don't we get back? So if he... Yes, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I know it makes them... Yes.
Sorry.
I think that comment was a bit out of touch, if I'm personally honest.
OK, let's have less. Go ahead, no.
I know they don't like it, Mr. Speaker.
Does the honourable member want to leave at this stage? Just understand, I want to hear the question, because it's very important that I do hear, because I'm may have to make a judgment. So I don't need any more shouting. Go ahead.
I know they don't like it, Mr. Speaker, but I haven't said anything that's not true, have I? So perhaps...
What? You're saying you don't lie? That's a good one.
Well, they should get off their high horse, stop making stupid jokes, and why don't we talk about student loans? Yes. Policies that may have been fine for 2012 with low interest rates are not fine for 2026. The fact is, graduates are paying more, not less. On Monday, the schools minister was asked on the BBC why Labour froze the repayment thresholds. She said the government has, and I quote, huge pressures. Those pressures have been created by his taxes and his borrowing to pay for more welfare. Why is the Prime Minister taking from students to give to Benefit Street?
I don't think that's a good angle.
What a nerve. Under their government, student loan thresholds were frozen for 10 years. 10 years. They broke the system. They did it with a bloke over there when they were in coalition together, and we're fixing it. Now, she used to say just a few weeks ago that she was going to focus on the economy at the exclusion of everything else. So I'm doing her a favour by bringing it back to the economy, because 117, desperate to talk about the economy, £117 off energy bills, inflation going down. The other thing that was confirmed on Friday, Mr. Speaker, borrowing is coming down, the biggest surplus on record. That means we've got the economy back under control, we're fixing the public finances. Now, I know the party of Liz Truss don't understand any of this, but she should welcome those changes when she next stands up.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. Keir Starmer's not addressing the elephant in the room of what Kemi's talking about here. And those are the questions are supposed to be, but we know this is a circus.
Mr. Speaker, he says they're fixing the student loan system. How? He wasn't even talking about this until I raised it. The fact is, those policies...
And it goes for the row as well. Chair Select Committee expects a standard, not to shout somebody down.
Mr. Speaker...
I don't need any back chat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. He's only talking about student loans now because I raised it. He says they're fixing the problem. The fact is, he's not. Why is it that I'm willing to ditch old Conservative policies that don't work and he wants to keep them? He's not going to do anything about it at all. On Monday, they voted to increase benefits yet again. The fact is, he is taking money out of the pockets of graduates and giving it to people who are not working. It is not fair. It is not just that he is saddling graduates with debt. It's not just that he is saddling graduates with debt. Yesterday, the Bank of England, yes, where she used to work in customer services. Yesterday, the Bank of England... Yesterday, Mr. Speaker, the Bank of England said that his policies are fueling youth unemployment. That's not us, that's the Bank of England. For the first time ever, youth unemployment is now higher here than it is in the EU. And while he blames everyone else, our young people can't get jobs, they are losing hope and even leaving the country. Will the Prime Minister tell us how he plans to deal with it?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, she says she's ditching failed Tory policies. It's a very long list, 14 years of list, and it starts with the word sorry. And when she says that word, we'll take her seriously. And Mr. Speaker, she talks about the Bank of England. The Bank of England have reduced interest rates 6 times. We've seen the fall in energy bills. Inflation is coming down. Borrowing is coming down. She hasn't welcomed any of that. I know she wanted to talk about the economy. She wants to talk anything other than the economy. Perhaps
But you don't want to talk about student loans. Why don't you want to talk about student loans?
she'll welcome the surge in retail sales as well. People are spending more on our high streets because of the action that we took. Wages boosted for millions of workers, opposed by the party opposite. Free breakfast clubs, opposed by the party opposite.
Yeah, free breakfast clubs, but no lunch or dinner for the kids. No, you guys have to wait for the next day for that.
Free childcare, opposed by the party opposite. Every measure we're taking to improve the economy, what do? They oppose it.
Mr. Speaker, he is desperate to talk about the last government so that he can distract from the mess that he is making now. The fact is, he is the Prime Minister today. This is a man who got legislation in to fix his own pension, just him, no one else's. He won't sort out student loans for other people. He has no plan to get young people into work. He has no plan to help graduates get out of the debt trap. They can complain as much as they like. These are facts. 411 MPs, and not a single one of them has any imagination. We are the ones doing all the thinking. Yes, he has already...
That's a bit much.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
All she's doing is throwing insults here. This is like, that's so infuriating here.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister has already made 15 U-turns. Will he make another one next week at the Spring Statement to fix the student loans system?
She wants me to talk about this government. Bills down under this government, £117. Inflation down under this government. Surplus up, record. Resales down. She won't welcome the economic news, but the business community is welcoming the plan. Business confidence is up. The FTSE's at a record high. The President of the British...
The FTSE is up. Why? Since when does the Prime Minister give a damn about the stock market? That sounds like he's something taking it out of the Trump playbook here. The Dow is up. The FTSE is up, guys. The FTSE is up. The stock market's doing well, guys. The London Stock Exchange is going well. For fuck's sake.
Chamber of Commerce has said this is the year our economy can turn around. Her miserable strategy of talking down the economy isn't working because Labour's got a plan for Britain.
Kevin Bednall.
Mr. Speaker, it'll only turn around this year if he stops being the leader. Perhaps they can do something about that. He wants us to welcome economic news. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to welcome the fact that youth unemployment is at its highest ever. I am not going to welcome the fact that unemployment has increased every single month under this Labour government. He is not doing anything about student loans because he is not governing. And he is not governing because he cannot govern. He is distracted by Labour scandal after Labour scandal. Mr. Speaker, even today now, there is an inquiry into the Inquiries Minister. That is all that they have offered since they came in. The defining moment of this man's premiership will not be breakfast clubs. It will be the sight of the man he appointed as ambassador to Washington just last year getting arrested. No wonder they're calling themselves all sorts of things. He needs to stop moaning about us and start fixing his useless government. Why should the country have to put up with 3 more years of this?
It's a very good attack line, I will say, because you can keep bashing the Conservatives all you want, but you've been in power for quite a while now, and yeah, there are some things here and there, but it is some good attack lines from Kemi, although be it still weak here coming from somebody who was part of the previous Conservative government.
Yet again, she's shown why she is so utterly irrelevant. Harping from the sidelines, trying to talk down the economy.
Hello. Please, I want to hear the question, so do your constituents. Prime Minister.
All she does is carp from the sidelines, talk the economy down, talk the country down. In the meantime, because of our work, what is happening? Energy bills down, as announced this morning. Inflation down.
You're just repeating the same stuff over and over, guys. It's insane.
Borrowing down. And what's up? Retail spending is up. Investment is up. Business confidence is up. That's the difference a Labour government makes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Residents in Stanley, in my constituency, are very excited about having their say on how to spend the £20 million of Pride in Place funding that Stanley South has received as one of the 250 most deprived neighbourhoods in the country.
Very good.
There are other villages and areas in North Durham that are too small to qualify for Pride in Place at the moment, but also urgently in need of investment. For instance, Grange Villa, New Kyo and the Avenues area of Chesterley Street. Will the Prime Minister consider an additional wave of Pride in Place funding to target smaller, more concentrated areas of deprivation?
Well, I thank him for that, and I know how meaningful Pride in Place investment is to his constituents. We're backing communities with the funding and the powers they need to invest in their priorities, which is unleashing jobs, growth and opportunity. In answer to his question, I can confirm that the next wave of Pride in Place will invest in an additional 169 neighbourhoods focused on smaller areas, looking closely at deprivation. We're reversing the austerity that ripped the heart out of our high streets and our communities and giving local people a real say over how money is spent.
That sounds
Leader
good.
of the Liberal Democrats, Sir Ed Davey.
Can I join the Prime Minister in congratulating Team GB on our most successful Winter Olympics ever? And can I also join him in solidarity with our Ukrainian allies and friends after 4 years of them resisting Vladimir Putin's war machine? Mr. Speaker, the former Prime Minister, Gordon Brown, has raised deeply shocking concerns that Jeffrey Epstein may have used British airports and even RAF bases to traffic young women and girls in and out of our country. This is appalling. The Prime Minister knows that I agree with Gordon Brown that there needs to be a full public inquiry into all this. If he doesn't agree with Gordon Brown, will he, at the very least, commit to releasing the flight logs and related documents? Will he wait for the House to force the government to do that?
Prime Minister.
Well, I think it's important to appreciate there's obviously a police investigation going on, and I think it's right, and I'm sure he agrees with this, that that has to go wherever the evidence takes it. And we have to let that investigation run its course before deciding what next action needs to be taken.
Sir Ed Davey.
I think we all agree that police investigations should take priority, but that doesn't rule out a public inquiry, and it certainly doesn't rule out releasing the flight logs, which I think really should be. Mr. Speaker, on a different note, it's been revealed the trustee of William Blake House, a care home for adults with profound disabilities, embezzled £1 million. There are very few homes in the country which offer this sort of care, and now it faces closure. As a father of a disabled son myself, can I tell the Prime Minister this situation is one of my worst nightmares? It's one of the worst nightmares of many parents with disabled adult children. The families of the residents have put forward a rescue plan to take over William Blake House and run it themselves. It will require HMRC resolving the debt issue and the Charity Commission to appoint an independent board. So will the Prime Minister meet with the families and back their plan?
Should at least look into it.
Prime Minister.
Can I thank him for raising this case, which is obviously a cause of considerable concern, and of course I'll make sure that the relevant meeting is put in place for all of the individuals who need that meeting.
Claire Ants.
Mr. Speaker, given the recent challenges to the Equality Act, will the Prime Minister commit to protecting those laws which prevent discrimination at work and in society, making sure that women aren't fired for being pregnant and ensuring that everyone is treated fairly, regardless of their sex, race or disability?
Yeah, because a certain political party wants to take that away, guys. Oh, can you guess who?
Mr. Speaker, I'm proud of the Equality Act that was passed by the last Labour government. We will always fight for working people, and compare that to Reform, who want to go back to the dark days where people can be discriminated against because of who they are, ripping up protections for workers and renters, and ending the right for grieving parents to take a few days off work if the worst should ever happen to their child. But, Mr. Speaker, I also have to raise this. A death threat was shared by Reform's Deputy Council leader in Lancashire against the brilliant member for Bolsover. It said she should be shot. When death threats were made against the member for Clacton, I stood at this dispatch box and condemned them outright. If he has any decency or backbone, he will stand up, apologise, condemn the comments and sack the individual in his parties. Will he do so?
Nigel Farage.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At the age of 14, Michel Mandarin was forcibly removed from his home, the coral atoll of Ile-de-Quoi, dumped on the quayside of Mauritius, forced to live on food scraps out of bins. He has resettled those islands and yet now faces a removal order from yet another Labour government. So maybe twice in one lifetime, he's going to be asked to leave his homeland. Can I ask the Prime Minister, for a government that is full of human rights lawyers, within and without, why do the opinions and human rights of indigenous Chagossians not matter to him at all?
Prime Minister.
So he has neither the decency nor the backbone.
Shameful.
A death threat to a member of this House, whichever party they are in. He doesn't have the decency or the backbone to condemn it and to sack the individual. And that just shows that his party have got nothing to offer the country but grievance and division. Look at their candidate in Gorton and Denton, a man who says anyone who isn't white cannot be English. No wonder he's been endorsed by Tommy Robinson. It doesn't represent our country, and anybody who wants to stand against that hatred and division should vote Labour on Thursday tomorrow in Gorton and Denton.
I gotta say, this is probably one of the strongest points of Keir Starmer here, slamming him. I mean, the problem is that Nigel Farage stood up because he wanted a nice video to put on his social medias for his question. And that's literally all it was. That's why he wasn't going to answer it. And he doesn't care. He doesn't care, guys. All he wants to do is have his moment in the sun. And they're not going to clip. Reform are not going to clip it. Nigel Farage is not going to clip it. They're not going to clip Keir Starmer's what he says there at all. They're just not going to clip it. And it's pretty disgusting and shameful.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can the Prime Minister update the House on how the government is tackling the misuse of illegal drugs? And will he reassure parents in my constituency of Rugby and across the country that Labour will continue to disagree with the views and the voices of those who think that it is a good idea to legalise Class A drugs like heroin and crack cocaine?
What has your fucking party done against drugs? What has your party done? You've done fuck all about it. The only reason you're talking about it is because the Greens have a plan to do something about it. Your party's got fuck all to do with drugs. You don't care about kids with drugs. You don't care if kids die from drugs. You don't give a shit. None of you fuckers give a shit about kids on drugs. The only reason you're doing this is to spite the Green Party. Yeah? That's all it is. That's all this is. It's to spite the Green Party. Yeah? And I don't agree with everything that the Green Party does. Yeah? But I look at people who suffer from drug abuses, drug overdoses and whatnot, and see it as a need of help, an addiction that they have, not as criminals, which is what Labour and the Conservatives thinks of people with drugs. This is nothing but a pop at the Green Party, just like the Scottish Labour MPs up there who've got nothing better to do than to trash talk the SNP as well.
Prime Minister.
Can I thank him for raising that? We are working relentlessly to tackle the supply of illegal drugs and expanding police powers to test more suspects upon arrest.
But we don't give a fuck about rehabilitation or helping people who are already in it. That's not our concern.
the Green Party's policy isn't just irresponsible, it's reprehensible. Legalising, Mr. Speaker, cocaine, heroin, ketamine and the date rape drug GHB, a drug which we know is used to spike drinks for women. Now, whilst we're making that an offence, the Green Party's proposals would shatter lives, increase antisocial behaviour and see drugs use running rife. And I have to say, as the father of a 17-and-a-half-year-old son,
the fuck up.
the idea that the argument is being made by the Greens that when he turns 18 in just a few months, it would be lawful to provide him with heroin and crack cocaine is absolutely disgusting.
Disgusting. Disgusting from that government.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I hope the Greens win. I hope the Greens win badly. I'm at this point about how angry I am with Labour over the Gaunton and Denton, the way they're reacting. Like, I'd rather have Reform win that seat than the fucking Labour Party when it comes to that by-election at this point.
The Prime Minister recently stated we will not allow the powerful to treat justice as optional. He was talking about Epstein's enablers. But my constituent, who uses the pseudonym Isabella, has asked me to ask the PM whether his words also apply to those who assisted Britain's Epstein and Handmaid Al fired. A monster who, with others, abused her and hundreds of other women and girls in a human trafficking scandal that the Met, unlike the French authorities, are still refusing to treat as such. So will the Prime Minister ensure sufficient resources are committed to fully investigating this multi-perpetrator, multi-jurisdictional, multi-decade trafficking outrage and meet with Isabella and her fellow victims to understand the terrible scale of this shocking crime?
Well, can I thank you for raising this really important case on behalf of really important victims, and I'm sure the thoughts of the whole House are with those victims. Every report of sexual offence should be treated seriously, every victim should be treated with dignity, and every investigation should be conducted professionally. The Safeguarding Minister is meeting the victims, and I will make sure that his constituent is part and included in those meetings. If he gives me the full details, I'll make sure that happens.
Imran Hussain. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And we have all heard the horrific news that a man entered Manchester Central Mosque last night in this, the holy month of Ramadan, carrying weapons, including a hammer, a knife and an axe. Mr. Speaker, violent and Islamophobic attacks against the Muslim community are becoming far too frequent in our country. Prime Minister, is it not the case that every single politician in this place, and I mean every politician, especially that lot over there. Mr. Speaker, they may nod their heads, but this morning we could have woken up to a horrific terrorist attack, killing innocent Muslim worshippers only for being Muslim. Prime Minister, is it not the case that every single politician in this place and every single journalist has a responsibility to stop fanning the flames of hatred against the Muslim community?
Hear, hear. Couldn't agree more.
Well, can I thank him for raising this really important case and tell him that I share his deep concern and the deep concern of the community over the incident at Manchester Central Mosque, particularly during the holy month of Ramadan. And we will not and must not relent in the fight against anti-Muslim hatred. We must not. Mr. Speaker, I remember visiting Peacehaven Mosque in the wake of the awful attack there. And when I did, I committed £40 million to protect mosques and community centres. It's a shame that we have to do that, but we do have to do it. And we're establishing a new fund to monitor anti-Muslim hatred and support victims. And I want to reassure my honourable friend and the House that we will fight hatred and protect freedom of worship in this country.
Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Bicester is one of the fastest growing towns in the country, but the town will be cut in two when rail services start between Oxford and Cambridge and the London Road level crossing closes. Campaigners were ignored by the Conservative administrations for over a decade, but today we're in touching distance of a solution. East West Rail has a detailed plan for an underpass, the Rail Minister's fully engaged, we have financial support from the County Council, and thousands of local residents have pledged £1 to go underground. So can the Prime Minister now confirm that the Government will back the plan and keep London Road open?
Minister. I thank him, and I know he shares our support for East West Rail, which is a vital project that will deliver better journeys, tens of thousands of jobs, and unlock up to 100,000 new homes. I agree that access to Bicester must be maintained. Access to Bicester Village must be maintained, my children say, as well. And I think the company have put forward 2 options on replacing the crossing, and I'll reassure him and his constituents that they will have the opportunity to express their views during the upcoming consultation into relation what would work for them. Thank you.
Jonathan Davis.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The regeneration of the Belper Mills, a large site with buildings including Grade 1 listed ones dating from the start of the Industrial Revolution at the heart of the East Midlands' only UNESCO World Heritage Site, took a significant step forward last week when planning permission for its redevelopment and conservation was finally granted. The government wants to provide more housing, rightly so, and sites like this, though while very challenging, provide a very important opportunity to support that aspiration and share our national story. Can the Prime Minister tell me what support the government is giving to regenerate at-risk listed buildings and whether we are delivering support to train construction workers in heritage building techniques? And can I ask him to take a personal interest in the Belper Mills because it is an internationally significant site?
Prime Minister.
Thank you for raising this, because restoring Belper Mills is not just about delivering the housing his constituents want, but about restoring an iconic World Heritage Site in the East Midlands. We're investing over £1.2 billion in skills, supporting apprenticeships, including courses focused on heritage construction, and recruiting 60,000 more construction workers and backing new technical excellence colleges, so we have the workforce to build the homes the country needs.
Adam Downs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In January last year, Somerset received around 2,000 pothole reports. This January it was nearly 7,000, a 250% increase. I recently stood on the Fossway in my constituency where one resident had blown a tyre and another one was checking the damage under his cars. Families and small businesses are paying the price. Rural counties like Somerset have some of the largest rural networks in the country, yet funding does not reflect that reality. Will the Prime Minister commit to fairer funding for rural areas so we can properly maintain and resurface our roads rather than constantly patching them up?
Prime Minister.
This is a major problem. This is really frustrating for a lot of rural areas where the roads are just so battered and there's just no funding for the councils to fill them in.
Well, I thank him, and I know how important it is that we fix the crumbling roads that we inherited from the party opposite. His county council will receive over £225 million as part of our £7.3 billion investment to tackle potholes. We're also implementing tough new standards, so councils have to prove they're fixing the roads properly, and delivering £78 billion for councils to ensure they can deliver excellent local services.
Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In 2024, 2.64 million animals were used in the UK in medical experiments. As chair of the All-Party Group in Phasing Out Animals in Medical Research, I think it's important to note that an estimated 92% of drugs fail in human clinical trials, even though they have passed preclinical tests, including animal tests. Innovative non-animal research methods are increasingly available and provide viable alternatives. Whilst I very much welcome our Replacing Animals in Science strategy, for this to be meaningful, a robust implementation timeline must be set. I ask the Prime Minister to consider that we lead the way and start by introducing an immediate ban on the use of dogs in these often horrific experiments.
Well, can I thank her for her dedicated work on this, and we are committed to phasing out animal testing wherever possible. Last year's strategy, backed by £75 million, will accelerate new alternative testing methods. Alongside banning puppy farming and introducing stronger standards for zoos, we're ensuring the UK is a world leader in animal welfare.
Robin Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In 2014, a man in my constituency was ambushed, violently beaten with a pickaxe handle and left lying in the street with serious injuries. At the time of the conviction, The judge called it a brutal attack. Mr. Speaker, many constituents have contacted me to express their concern that the perpetrator of this attack is still a sitting Labour councillor in Keighley and was recently pictured celebrating an election with convicted crack cocaine and heroin dealers. Prime Minister, on behalf of all victims of serious crime, will you, as the leader of the Labour Party, ensure that Councillor Mohsen Hussain is not permitted to stand in the local elections this May?
I thank you for raising this. I will look into it straight away and give him a full answer.
Sir Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
He obviously wasn't aware of it, but if what he's saying is true, then yeah, that councillor's gonna be gone. What's going on?
Order. Mr Fenton Glenn, you're getting carried away with some other colleagues behind you. Mr Davis and others, please. Sir Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Prime Minister, I need your help. Today, alongside leading trade bodies, including UK Hospitality, the Federation of Small Businesses and the Startup Coalition, I am launching the TNT Charter, the Trust and Transparency in Business Energy, to blow up the status quo and support SME access to fair contracts, clearer pricing and stronger accountability. I know that the Prime Minister recognises this as an issue, so can I ask him to deploy powers to bring greater transparency, fairness and competition to the Wild West that is commercial energy?
Mr. Speaker, we inherited the highest industrial energy costs in Europe because of the failed policy of the party opposite. Our British industry supercharger is cutting bills for major industries, but she's right to champion the SMEs as well. I can confirm we will appoint Ofgem to regulate and stamp out exploitation by third-party intermediaries, helping to reduce bills, and I'll make sure that she gets a meeting with the ministers to discuss the issues that she's raised with me.
Stephen Guthrie.
Mr. Speaker, even the embarrassingly loyal Scottish Labour Party seem to have lost confidence in the Prime Minister. Can I say to the Prime Minister, please don't let that put you off coming and campaigning in Scotland on your government's record. But can he tell us why is it that those who are so close to him have abandoned him, given the government's record?
Prime Minister.
I remember when they used to sit down here, didn't they, before the election, Mr. Speaker, and now they sit up there because we won the general election in 2024 with a landslide majority.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more. There'll be a lot more up there come the Scottish elections. Just you wait. Just you wait, here. Just you wait. There'll be a lot more coming. There'll be a lot more coming. Yeah, you just keep running that. Just keep running your mouth.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. From this April, Springside Special School in Rochdale will open its first ever free breakfast club. Yeah. That's a big change enabled by this Labour government, and one that the head teacher, Mrs. Fierro, said will make a big change to all the parents and children at her school. But Rochdale's growing popularity and growing population desperately needs a new secondary school. So will the Prime Minister arrange with me to have a meeting with the DFE to get our secondary school over the line to help all children in mainstream and in SEN get more provision?
Well, we're determined to halve the disadvantage gap and give all children the best start in life. I'm delighted to see a free breakfast club opening in his constituency in Rochdale. Our actions will lift over 500,000 children out of poverty, and the party's opposite policy is to say they'd plunge them straight back into poverty, which is disgraceful. And
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, but it just took you guys 2 years to realise maybe we should move the two-child benefit cap because it's really, it'd be a very, very good idea. It took you 2 years to realise that.
through our actions to reform the SEN system, we'll create an inclusive system so that every child can go as far as their ability and talents will take them.
Roger Gale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you will recall that some months ago I asked the Prime Minister why, as the Director of Public Prosecutions, he did not bring charges against Mohammed Fayed for rape and for assault. And the Prime Minister replied that this did not cross his desk. I understand that the Met Police delivered 2 dossiers to the Crown Prosecution Service. So if the Prime Minister didn't see them, who did? And could he tell the House when he expects the Metropolitan Police to bring charges against those who aided and abetted Fayed?
Prime Minister.
I stand by my answer. Hundreds of thousands of files are submitted to the prosecution service every year. It is important that the investigation is going on. I can't tell him when the decision will be made or what the decision will be, as he well knows, but it is important that every allegation is properly investigated and properly dealt with according to the law.
Final question, Kelvin Bear.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Nor the Greens.
4 years after Russia's illegal invasion, Britain backs Ukraine's fight for freedom. The same freedoms that Labour used to forge NATO to defend. But while Ukraine fights to join NATO, the Green Party wants to break it up. So does the Prime Minister agree with me that as war continues and as Russia broadens its attacks across Europe, those who attack NATO are betraying our security? And, to coin a phrase, are they becoming Putin's useful idiots?
This is just a desperate attack to stop Hannah Spencer winning the Gorton-Denton by-election.
Well, my honourable and gallant friend is absolutely right. Our support for Ukraine is unwavering. And yesterday, I chaired the Coalition of the Willing Call and announced new sanctions to weaken Putin's war machine. The Greens, by contrast, want to pull out of NATO and negotiate with Putin our nuclear deterrent. And Reform are still parroting Kremlin talking points after their leader in Wales was jailed for taking Russian bribes. Both of them are weak on NATO and soft on Putin.
Completes Prime Minister's questions.
Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. The attacks on the SNP and the attacks on Green. Absolute nonsense ones. I will say, though, the best point for Keir Starmer was obviously his attacks on Nigel Farage there. I thought that was very, very good for him. As in terms of the questions that Kemi Badenoch put with regards to student loans, Keir Starmer dodged the question. I made my feelings very clear about it. The fact that he didn't answer the questions, and I really don't give a shit what the cost is behind wiping out these debts and fees. I really don't care, guys. I really don't, because I think there should not be a limit on the investment in our children's future. That's just it. If it puts us in more debt, then we'll have to find and raise their money from somewhere else. Because as far as I'm concerned, a government and a state should be giving its children, its students, every best opportunity possibly can to succeed. That's always been my feeling on the matter. I don't know about the details and whatnot, but I look at this all as a fucking complete waste of time, because it should not have to be that way. That's how I generally feel. I really do, because it should not have to happen to anyone. Though whether those who are going into university now, whether those who are in university right now, whatever their debts should be, they should all just be wiped slate clean. They really should. That's just my view on it. As for some of the other questions, I thought Ed Davies questions were pretty solid as well. I thought there were some very good questions from a few MPs as well. Nigel Farage got his clip to put on social media, but I really do feel that this was an attempt by Labour to get one or two shots at the Reform Party and at the Green Party for the Gorton-Denton by-election, because they are absolutely terrified of losing the seat. I really, really mean this. I really mean this, guys. Look, I don't want Labour to to succeed. I really don't want them to win this Thursday. However, I don't want Labour winning it, because they don't deserve it. They really don't deserve it. And the attack lines that they've been using on the Greens have been nothing short of diabolical as well. Like, it's one thing to go after them and their policies and not, but the language that they are using, some of the language that's been coming out of the Labour Party is so nasty, and it's almost the kind of language that you're supposed to be hearing from the Conservatives and not from them. It's just absolutely shocking to me. So, guys, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who came along today. Thank you, guys, for all your comments. Thank you to those who been here since the start as well. Obviously, didn't hit today's Super Chat goal. Hopefully, we will hit it tonight. Tonight at 8 o'clock, guys, myself and One Angry Pagan with the Eco Flake Show. We're not going to be talking about the politics and whatnot. What we normally talk about, we're going to be talking about green energy, we're going to talk about climate, we're going to talk about the environment, we're going to talk about all those kinds of things, rising sea levels, all those kinds of different news outlets. We're going to be talking about that kind of stuff. So do join us for it, because I do feel that it was, even though we couldn't do it 2 weeks ago, I don't want to miss out on doing one at least once a month with Pagan, because it's really, really important to talk about these things. You know, don't get me wrong, there are lots of local and domestic and national issues that need to be discussed, but these things are something that we need to continuously talk about. So do join us tonight at 8 o'clock for that, guys. So enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you guys are doing. But just before you go, if you can, please, for me, hit that like button, share it across social media, subscribe if you haven't to already. Do check out the Discord community as well. Check out the home tab for additional content as well. And again, if you want to financially support me and the work that I do here on this channel, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.